Hi, I'm Clara Hollander, and co-chairman and co-founder of Craft Now. Philadelphia has a tradition of craft, and we want to be the capital of craft in the United States.
My name is Layla Cartier. I am project manager for Craft Now Philadelphia. October 28th was a very special day. We had our kickoff event, which was a collaborative symposium hosted by the Clay Studio and the Center for Art and Wood, which we sponsored. Glenn Adamson gave the keynote lecture at the Christ Church, which was followed by a reception both at the Clay Studio and the Center for Art and Wood.
What if I told you that I got the two art shows pretty well covered, but the lecture by one of America's greatest scholars of craft, I totally screwed up.
An example of this phenomenon in recent years has been this work, which is called For the Love of God. It's by Damien Hirst, probably many of you will.
What's he saying? That sound is all garbled.
Of human scale, made of platinum.
When a dog acts improperly, people around him say, "Bad dog, bad dog." And though you're in your rights to start yelling, "Bad videographer, bad videographer," I promise I'm going to try to make it up to you. First of all, you can always buy his book. And I did talk to Glenn before his lecture and asked him about his career.
I've been involved with the center here in Philadelphia for a long time. I was, in fact, a curator for a show that they did way back at the beginning of the 21st century called Wood Turning in North America since 1930. And that really launched me on a curatorial career. So I've always felt very grateful to the center for that opportunity. Since then, I have curated in Milwaukee, in London, at the Victoria and Albert Museum. I've been at the Museum of Arts and Design in New York City, and I'm currently working on projects at Yale University. But it all started for me right here at the center.
Pretty remarkable for a man who looks like an elderly teenager.
Right, I'm suspiciously well preserved, right?
Now for a few memories of Glenn's lecture. It was absolutely brilliant, and he had a number of themes about the intersection of art and technology. One artist built a drawing machine to create his drawings for him. Another built a machine that endlessly spewed out the autograph of the artist, a comment on the limits of authenticity in the postmodern age. But to me, Glenn's most interesting theme was how big-time artists rely on anonymous makers to actually produce the art. This goes way back, and he pointed out that Robert Indiana's iconic love sculpture was dreamed up by Indiana, but made by a crew from the Lippincott Company. The renowned Chinese artist Ai Weiwei hired an entire village to labor for 2 years, crafting innumerable ceramic sunflower seeds. They were taken to a huge gallery in London, where at first people interacted with them. But silica dust led to health problems, and now the space cannot be entered by viewers. Glenn wondered about the health of the villagers. And he ended with an artist who hired some impoverished craftsmen to cover a truck with incredible carved wooden designs. After the artist left, the workers began making tiny versions of the truck for sale to supplement their income. The artist was enraged. But to Glenn, the best part of this entire project were the tiny trucks that the anonymous craftsman created. After Glenn's lecture, I went over to check out the two art shows. Craft Now's Layla Cartier told me what to expect.
This year we have chosen the theme of analog digital as a kind of umbrella. The Center for Art and Wood has Wood Revisited, an exhibit about how technology has influenced production over the last 20 years. Transference at the Clay Studio looks at new technologies in printing on clay.
What is your name, miss?
Mimi Logothetis.
And why are there teeth in your ceramic artwork, as well as whales and dollar signs?
The teeth are anxiety dream symbols. And everything else is like human beings meet the ocean and what we're pouring into the oceans. So this is a ship of trash.
It's an amazing piece.
Thank you. That's what we leave behind, not gold.
Kind of sad.
Yeah.
And how do you get the images onto the clay?
It's a process that, as far as I know, I'm the only person who really uses, so it's my secret process. But once I'm famous, I'll talk about it.
My name's Larry Bush.
Who is this ancient 1930s laborer?
That's me, Andrew Raftery.
Is this for real?
Yeah, this is my life. This is my garden in my mother's house in Providence, Rhode Island.
Okay, Andrew, I'll put you on YouTube. Quickly give me a summary of each one. What you're doing.
Okay. In January, I'm in bed reading seed catalogs. You can see some of my old master prints here in Amaryllis.
Okay.
This is probably the first engraving ever done of Long Johns. In February, I'm in my kitchen surrounded by transferware planting seeds. And in March, I'm at my cold frame. I'm watering the little seedlings in the cold frame. This is on 8th Street in Providence, Rhode Island, which everybody would recognize by the little synagogue you see in the background. There's a Star of David on my shoulder.
Okay.
In April, I'm digging out the flower beds.
Okay.
In May, I'm in front of my mother's house. I'm cultivating my lettuce bed, and it's a very special lettuce bed. There's a checkerboard of red and green leaf lettuce. And something quite characteristic of Providence, Rhode Island, is the stop sign at an angle that somebody's run into. It never gets fixed. Here I am in June, and I'm training a passion vine on a trellis in the backyard. In July, and I'm fertilizing at the side of the house. I've just fertilized and now I'm watering. And you can see the dichondras here and the various gladiolas. Here I am in August, and I'm deadheading. Well, you just take off the dead flowers so the new ones grow.
Okay.
This one I'm mowing in September, the front of the yard. In October, I'm at the side of the house bringing in chrysanthemums. And in November, I'm digging dahlia tubers.
What's that?
Those are those plants that have those beautiful big fluffy flowers, and so you dig the tubers and you keep them in the garage over the winter, and you can plant them again next year.
Okay.
But you might notice that the castor bean, which we see here that's had frost, is up here in August. It's alive. And finally, I'm in December contemplating the garden in the snow. And I might want to add that the wallpaper is also something that I made. It's a letterpress wallpaper called Spring Salad. And so it shows elements from my spring garden, lettuce leaves, mustard greens, arugula, and to make it a salad, there's a little bit of macaroni.
Okay, so do you spend more time doing gardening or art?
Art, but the garden's always there for me.
At a program called Craft Now Create at the Kimmel Center, I met the woman who was demonstrating 3D ceramic printing.
You were in the transference show?
Yes, I am in the transference show.
And which ones are yours?
My pieces are the ones that are the sculptural pushed out, like the bus crash, the passenger pigeon, the skull.
You're going to be in my movie.
Thank you.
I wish I could have met all the artists in Transference. A wonderful show at the Clay Studio, up through November 27th, 2016. And now it's time for some wood.
This is an exhibition about recent technologies and how they've been applied to creativity in wood. It was curated by Carlisle.
I'm coming to Philadelphia from the Bard Graduate Center in New York City. I'm a second-year master's student there studying design history, material culture, and the decorative arts.
And this is her first curatorial project. I'm glad to say I served as an advisor to her, and she's brought together an extraordinary group of objects by an international array of artists, all using new technologies. So for example, there's 3D printing and 3D guided routers in the exhibition. There's laser cutting, like this extraordinary piece behind me. Also, there are artists that have used digital design techniques to envision their forms before they make them. So it's really a sampler or a kind of itinerary of what's been made possible through new technologies as they've been applied to this traditional medium.
I made a separate video about this Wood Revisited show, which you can find on YouTube. In it, you get to hear from many of the artists, as well as the center's director, Albert Leacoff, and the show's wonderful curator, Carlisle. Rather than repeat myself, I will end this film with another failure on my part, but a magnificent failure. Some years back, Carlisle worked for Martin Scorsese on his film Shutter Island. So of course, I pressed her for gossip.
Any slightly more dramatic stories?
There was a scene they shot where it was in a mental institution and the actors have to be cued by the sound of ostensibly what is a screaming patient down the hall. So I was the screaming patient. After take, I did a horror movie scream. I'm not doing that.
That was Carlisle. That wasn't me.